So here we are in the Gfinity Elite Series, and there's some guys who have finally been able to use 3 whiteboards, and a lovely use of the Infused symbol there, using the O there. Very lovely stuff. There's Doomsy getting ready. He must be pumped. As he said, they do not need to win this, but he will definitely want to be at top of the leaderboard for goals scored, and he's quite a competitive lad. So, gentlemen, I want to put you on the spot and see how you think this game is going to go today.
I think it's going to be 3-2 either way, but I will go with Infused. I've been won over by the whiteboards. Yeah. 3-2 Infused.
You've been won over by the whiteboards.
All 3 of them.
Johnny Boy, have you been won over by all 3 whiteboards over there?
I think 3 whiteboards, 1 for every win that Infused are going to get. I think Envyus are only going to take 1. And I reckon Doomsy's going to get his top goal scorer back as well. I think that despite Remco and Waffle and Mout's best efforts, he should be able to put 5 past him.
Okay, well, no one's asked my prediction, so I'm... No, it's too late now. I'm moving. Look at the camera's moving, and we have to move on.
Change the camera
no, those are the rules, Cole. Over there, we welcome the man back, Stumpy.
Hello,
how do you see this game going, and for yourself, Gregan, as well?
I think it's going to be a nice, strong Infused win this time. How about you, Gregan? What do you think?
You've done it again,
yeah,
Carl. You put the headset on wrong. It goes on top of your head.
On top? I've never heard that.
I mean, we saw it last week. It was the highlight of the final game last week.
That seems insane to me.
But I genuinely think this game is going to be the highlight. We're going to move swiftly on from your wardrobe malfunction with your headset. It is Infused versus Envyus, and it's going to be a close one. I think this is going to be a highly fought game, high-level Rocket League. But I think I'm going to have to agree with the analyst that I think it's going to be Infused who take it, and it's going to be Doomsy who's going to step up.
Do you reckon he's going to be the core of the team, as we sort of described it in previous games? Because I think a lot of the times we've heard for Envyus, Remco is described as the core. He's the one who will set up. He's the one that will set the baseline for the other players to then play off. Do you think Doomsy's then going to do that for Infused?
I don't think that's his role in the team. His role in the team is to hype his team up and score goals, which is why he's so high up on the leaderboard. But it's Ignite and Sebadam who tend to play that facilitating role. Ignite more with the assists and Sebadam more with that going back in defensive positions. So I think that's kind of their general role. But obviously, Rocket League, everyone has to play every position. So if you have Doomsy at the back, he needs to know how to defend. And thankfully, this Infused team have been able to perform all facets of the game up to this point. As we go straight down onto the battlefield, Envyus versus Infused.
Doomsy straight away, they're here with a nice, strong attack. Going to try and pound that backboard, get as many hits off there as they can, trying to keep the pressure on. See if they can force any mistakes from the blue team, even though I don't know if that's going to work particularly well, seeing as how mechanically strong all of them are.
Yeah, every player on this pitch has the ability to make chances out of nothing, and that is the key at the top level. How many players can you take out of the game with strong mechanical players?
Naughty double commit there. They're going to need to stop doing that, because this is a team that will punish small little errors like that, whether it's positioning, whether it's rotating, or even whether it's just a whip. They're going to be capitalising. They'll see the errors coming even before the players might even know they're going to make them.
Oh, that was in the midfield there. We saw Remco beating out Ignite to the ball. And it's those kind of situations that decide which team goes on to offense. So watch out for those midfield challenges and who comes out the better.
Remco there putting a shot down towards just to the left of the post. A big clear by Doomsy. Ignite taking the second hit along. As Doomsy tries to get the pressure on, keeps it up. Trying to get the boost from their corner. Sebadab lofting it high, but Mout as beaten there as he was without boost, but did stay up, which was quite curious.
Yeah, he was just trying to force him into doing something. Sometimes baiting, getting another touch is enough to force them to give the ball away. It's one of those mindsets. You see someone going towards the ball, you instantly assume they're going to try and make a touch on it.
Nice little save there by Doomsy. It's been quite, I said straight right at the start, it was a big old push from Infused, but that's only a couple seconds gone. It seems to be sort of quite even, if not tilting a little bit more towards the Envyus side. As Waffle there goes for the pass up, Mout sees that in the centre, the placement. That's fantastic on that. You see Waffle take it up the wall, does it around Ignite, out from Doomsy's on the backboard. Sebadam hopping in from the back post where he should have maybe stayed.
Yeah, and it was the pass from Waffle that set up a situation for Mout where he could shoot it in an unsavable location. And thankfully for him, Mout found that top corner at reasonable speed, which meant it was near impossible for Sebadam to make the save. It was just a few moments of the ball going places that Infused weren't expecting, and that opened up gaps in the defense and allowed that goal to occur.
Playing a bit more now in the Envyus half. Mount missing it on the corner in the air, allows Doomsy to get it in the centre, pass it round towards Sebadam, but Waffle, the wall of Waffle comes out again, saves it, big clear actually over towards the Infused half. So Ignite gets a double touch, but Waffle is going to keep trying to put the
breakaway
centre with the open net. Doomsy, he can't miss them. They're harder to miss, those ones.
That's a gift for him. That's going to put him up that leaderboard. Now he's 3 goals away from Magnus, but it was that touch off the wall from Waffle, trying to find Remco in the middle, that aggressive play style where you don't play passively if you're the last man back. You have to expect yourself to hit it. Remco backed himself, went up for the ball, but due to it being over the top of him, he left it to bounce into his half, and it was Infused who got the breakaway goal. A lot simpler for Infused to score in this game, as it was a very well-worked goal for Envyus to start the game off.
I think a lot of these passes that both teams are actually sending down to each other, they need to have more reception on them. We've not seen many redirects coming in, maybe from the wall or from the ceiling. They've just sort of been punting them at the opposite ends, and a bit more needs to come in from the receiving player, because there are a lot of sends coming in.
I mean, it's not just that, but the passes, they're putting them in places where it relies on a split-second win on the receiving player. Whereas you want to be passing it to people who are in space, who are not going to be challenged, because it gives them more potential to move that ball where they want to, rather than just having to outright beat the player they're racing to the ball with.
Ignite, here's that pass we were talking about. Sebadam's come off the backboard and has missed it. Doomsy had another pop at that as well. Sending 2 players to it can be dangerous, but we've seen in the method game, they did the exact same thing. There was a pass from their own corner up in the centre, 2 players went for it, and that pass back allowed Magnus to score. So if you're able to have these shots on and you're confident you're going to be able to score from it, why not?
Oh!
There's an open net there, but not enough power.
It wasn't an easy open net, that's for sure. He had to try and hit it on the volley and send it back towards the goal, so a tough angle to create power in. But smartly, Sebadam did rotate back. That's what we like to see from him. Rather than staying upfield, trying to do a little bit more than he can, he just defaults back into that defensive position.
Out there wanting to get a big clear. No one challenging on the wall means he can get a pinch off the ceiling, but down towards Doomsy with a brilliant half volley, actually. A lot of power coming from him, basically not moving. As it comes in the centre for Remco, leaves it. Probably gets the call from Waffle to leave it off the ceiling. 2 have gone for that. Again, they need to stop these double commits, because they will be punished at one point or another during this game.
Indeed, as we enter the final moments of this game, the scores are level, and I would say it's probably Envyus who've looked a little bit more dangerous, but Infused defense has allowed them to hold it off up to now as these final moments. Remco, no, Waffle in fact, sorry, in the middle, able to finish that one off, as it was the pass into the middle by Remco into Mount. Just enough touches to draw out the defense, allowing Waffle to shoot on a near empty net.
Taking that, 16 seconds left, 2-1. I'll be amazed if Infused to get a goal back here in this last couple moments of this game. However, I don't think this will set the precedent for the rest of the games. I don't think it will be an Infused win across the board. I think they've definitely got the chance to come back, because it's been very close. Like, it's literally 1-0 until the last 15 seconds. But the game does not end until 0 seconds. Off the backboard, Ignite hits it down, and that is going to be a game for Envyus, the first one of this best-of-5 series.
A close one it was, 2-1 the score, but it was Envyus's, both their goals were performance related on their part, rather than Infused's goal, which was based off of Envyus giving away the opportunity. Now, that's a much more powerful position to be in, when you can create goals but give away goals, then you just take away that given away moment.
And then you've just got the creating goals.
And then you win. And it's that simple. And it's something we saw with Epsilon in previous weeks. We saw it with Prophecy and Endpoint. They get a lot of goals, but then they also give away a lot. And it's that fine balance of overcommittance and shooting. But that was a beautiful pass from Waffle
as well.
Yeah, just 2 players having moments of brilliance, combining together to make a goal. And that will be the easiest goal of the Elite Series for Doomsy.
They're always nice to have, like, to at least get one on the board. They're good ones to get in your pocket, because that did equalise the game for them. That brought them back to 1-0, and it was just in the last seconds there that you've then got the second goal coming in. But like you say, it's the opportunities that Envyus are creating for themselves, and sort of creating for Infused as well, by like committing the 3rd player back, missing it. If your 2 other players are up committing for a shot, then And he's gone over the top. You've then got everyone's on the wrong half. You don't want that.
Hands going again.
I know. I've got lots of hand movements.
How do they do it? How do they do it? No, to be fair to Infused, they didn't do anything majorly wrong that game. It was just they weren't creating enough opportunities. And that's something having Remco in your team often causes, because he just finds those strong positions when he's not being demoed, where he just takes any pressure away from the situation. That's something to watch for. Just where he comes in, finds spots like that. Angle! Remco just being demoed and decides to charge upfield and find the most beautiful angle.
Oh my! That's an insane angle. Gets it. Not only the angle he gets it to the opposite corner of the net.
The vision. How on earth did he see that as a possibility charging up from defense? We will never know, but it is Remco, the man of the moment for Envyus.
World champion.
Yeah.
Remco.
You want him in your team no matter what. So strong in every facet of the game. Defense, offense, positioning, mechanics. He has everything you'll ever need in a player.
And if he can support the other players in his team, if he can support Waffle and Malt, then I think they have got the series in the bag.
Yeah, and at this point, Infused are going to have to ask questions. What do they need to do now?
Not touches like that. They are banned touches. They are. We do not want them.
None of that, Doomsy.
None of that, pal.
Wrong goal. Yeah, what do they need to do now to outplay this Envyus team? Because their defense is holding off reasonably well. Conceding 3 goals up to this point has not been too bad. Almost.
No boost. He didn't have the boost, so that could not get any closer. Maybe hoping a teammate would come up and cover it. I don't think he was shouting to his microphone there. I'm not getting any boost. Come and score. But no one was there. I just think it needs more passes from Infused. Like, we've seen a lot come in from Envyus, and not many opportunities that we'd like to see. We've seen Ignite have some incredible redirects in previous weeks. He has been absolutely on fire. So if he can carry on with that and not get phased by the fact that Remgod is here, then they should do well.
Yeah, they're going very direct route, and that's going to lead to a goal there. Doom's just trying to dribble that up through the middle of the pitch with a teammate holding his hand.
Ignite.
Was it Ignite?
Ignite, yeah.
Oh, Doomsy and Ignite were so close together that I misread their names. That was the problem there.
Telling.
Yeah, that's telling. You just got to go up as individuals and find each other in strong positions. And when you're relying on one individual to take on a team of 3, you are going to get defended like that, and it's not going to be beneficial to you. So like you said, you need to pass, but you also need to put yourself in positions where offloading the ball to you is actually beneficial to your team.
I mean, Infused here, they are not going to want to lose, because that will ruin their 100% win rate so far. It'll be nice if they don't. We always, that'd be lovely. A nice, 7 games to 0 winning.
Yeah, and we've also got to mention, if Envyus win this, then they put themselves in with a chance of making playoffs. Yeah. It's everything to play for Envyus, where Infused are locked into that #1 position.
Well, so imagine the confidence it will give them beating the top team in this tournament. Obviously, they've changed players a little bit more often than the others. They've had Devo in some weeks, they've had Remco in twice now. Having these players to switch around with, that might be good or bad for them, depending on whether you're going to be confident playing with the same team, or if you're going to think, no, you know what, we need to change sometimes. Yeah, and perhaps Devo, Remco will be interested in playing in later weeks, because they have no other competitions to worry about at the moment, where the other players in Envyus might be thinking about those. But currently it is Envyus who are looking in a very strong position. 1-0 up in the series, 2-0 up in this game, could put them in match point of going potentially into the playoffs, but obviously that will rely on endpoint later on. Yeah, they do want endpoint to lose their next game, because if Envy win and endpoint lose, then that's Envy through. That takes them up into the 4th position spot, and that is huge, bringing them through to the semi-finals. Mal there with a shot on the net. Ignite coming from the sidewall as Sebadam tries to go for the big clear here. Losing a 50-52, Remco's comes off the side, take it nice and slow. Another double commit in the net by Doomsy and Ignite. And that was all down to Remco, seeing that he wasn't going to be able to make a dangerous shot. So puts it between his 2 opposition players, forcing them both to go for it, because it's not an easy situation to communicate there. And it's those kind of plays that people don't recognize, the nothing plays that turn into overcommits. Absolutely. He finds space, this Remco. He finds space, he knows his time. He's got pressure, but he doesn't tend to overcommit. Oh, what a shot! Say that, what an angle coming down from Ignite.
The power from ignite there, flying up. The pass off of the wall from Doomsy there. Blind pass, sends it into the middle high, knows his teammate ignite is chasing upfield, and at this point, there's a minute left. They're gonna go for these opportunities, and that's put them 1 goal away from leveling the scoreline.
Yeah, they can afford to be a little bit more risky here. I've said this in previous weeks, and it goes with saying again, it doesn't matter if you lose 10-0. It does not matter if you lose 10-0 or 1-0. You just need the W on the board.
Exactly. Yeah, because conceding another goal now would not matter if they just turtled up, because they wouldn't have any opportunities in offense. This is dangerous. Mout chips onto the backboard, tries to go for it himself, but that will be a strong clear by Sebadam, who's rotating in these final 30 seconds here. Envyus have to be careful. They just need to get strong clears and keep the ball as far away from their goal as possible.
Remco there, in with a shot off the crossbar, down towards Mout. Sebadam with the save. I think that was going in the corner anyway. Waffle trying to win that 50-50. Ignite going up the top to steal this boost with a hungry Mout on him, wanting that demo.
But by doing that demo, he's now got 0 boost. He does manage to get the ball. This is tremendous by Envyus, just keeping the pressure on, making it near impossible for Infused to get away. And I think that's going to be the end of the game if it touches down.
No, this is rule 1. Trying to keep it up. Doomsy wants to keep it up in the center, but hits it down right in their box. Unfortunate. That's another win for Envy, making that 2-0 in this series. They're on series point now.
Yeah, it's looking very good for Envyus. And we mentioned it when Remco came before, that he doesn't try and steal the spotlight, and he's doing that right now. We're seeing Mout upfield creating a lot of opportunities due to the pressure that's coming from Waffle and Remco. Absolutely beautiful. There he is, Mout.
He is absolutely beautiful, isn't he?
From what I've heard, he's not a particularly animated player. He doesn't get particularly hype. He's fairly relaxed when he plays.
Yeah.
But he does the speaking on the pitch with those shots, the passes off the backboard.
I mean, he was smack talking before the game. He was saying 3-0.
That's true.
You say he doesn't talk much normally, but a 3-0 is a big call against the undefeated champions of the Elite Series, and it's looking that way.
One game away.
Fortune teller.
Yeah, that would be very impressive. I think Infused at this point haven't got a huge amount to play for, because in their head they're thinking they're through. We don't need to get that hype that they've had in previous weeks. But for their own glory, they're undefeated to this point. Surely they can do it once again against Envyus.
It's a hell of a storyline to stay undefeated. It's looking less and less likely with each game that that's going to happen. So 2-0. What do you think Infused need to change about their final game? See if they can switch around. See if they can do a reason and reverse sweep them.
It's a tough one, because what Envyus are doing is so deceptively brilliant. It's that covering so many areas in defense, not allowing Infused to push up easily. I think they're just going to have to make sure they take every opportunity that comes their way, because they're not getting many of them. And so it's just reliability on everything they do.
Oh no, what miss! Oh, that's such a shame.
Caster's curse.
Caster's curse.
Reliability is certainly not what we saw from ignite here.
It's a bit of an awkward one, because it's come off the inside corner where the post and the crossbar meets. It's come down diagonally towards the centre. Hard to read, but the Envyus player did it. Why couldn't he?
Yeah, exactly. And at this point, you're top of the league. Infused, you need to be able to expect yourself to do the impressive touches. As we're ignite trying to recover from that previous situation, going up to the high aerial. So 1-0 the score, early days. Envyus looking to get the 3-0 sweep here, as Mout predicted.
Yeah, Mout's really feeling pretty happy with himself now, thinking, okay, yeah, we're doing all right here. The 3-0 dream is still alive, as that goes towards the Envyus net. An absolute boomer from the halfway line by ignite. As Sebadam goes for a centre again, wrapping it around the wall. They are very easily saved if you've got someone on the back post rotation, because it just means that all you need is them to drive up. As Doomsy goes for a nice death.
What a pass!
What's ignite? The save from Remco, keeping them safe in this potential final game.
Do you notice every time we see Infused trying to do an awkward touch into an unusual place, it seems to be Remco that's filled that gap. They tried to hit the backboard a few times, Remco's cleared it. Just there, that pass was intercepted by Remco. He just has that read that he can see what a player is trying to do a few steps ahead of the game, and that is why he is the dissolver of pressure. You cannot talk about how important it is to take pressure out of your opposition, because it frustrates them. It makes you on the front foot for the majority of the game.
Yeah, as well as putting you on the front foot, it's also going to put the opposition on the back foot, because they're not, every time they try and commit, every time they go for a big play, it's just getting shut down. It'll be so tiresome to be playing against a team that can essentially predict your movements just from seeing the patterns of your car.
Exactly, the car language. Remco clearing that one away.
He's fluent. He's fluent in car.
Yes.
Remco.
He knows how to read octanes. Perhaps that's what they need to do. Change up their car choice, make it a little less obvious. Perhaps the Merc or the Grog, so that you look the same when you're going forward or backwards.
That's a strong shout. That's a very strong shout. That's a... That'd be brave.
It would be. I mean, perhaps that's the new meta.
Maybe.
Choose a hard-to-read car.
Mount there with a nice little air dribble. Doesn't get the distance on it that he wanted. With a commit there by Ignite, but you see he gets the pass in the centre. Remco is trailing it, but there's no infused player to receive that pass. That's what they need. They need to have the pressure without overcommits. As there's a demo in the net. Sebadam on Mount with a defensive doink back out of the zone. Those
doink clears are so hard to read as an offensive player because you charge up and you're like, there's no one moving at speed towards this ball. But you create so much power getting underneath that ball and popping it away.
And they look pretty.
And they do look very pretty.
An angle coming in there. The pass from, was it Waffle who sent that in, which I think was going on there anyway, to be honest.
Yeah, Remco might have stilled it, but it did confirm the goal. You just see there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Remco stole that.
Padding stats.
We can safely say Remco stole that shot.
Yeah, that's fine. Padding the stats, they just want more team points, because that's an assist and the goal and the shot. So they've done well.
Or the kickoff just off of the post. Those can be a bit unfortunate as a player, but a lot of people think they're lucky when the ball pinches out off of the kickoff. But we're starting to know more and more now.
Oh, what? Waffle, such a nice delay.
Waffle with the delayed 50-50 there, just coming in slowly onto that ball.
But it's like a delayed fake 50-50 pinch.
Yeah, he was basically saying, hit it into me because I'm just going to shoot it towards the net, and it worked out beautifully. And that's why that kind of rush defense can work so beautifully against you, in fact.
Yeah. Waffle's he's learning to speak Octane.
He's learning, yeah.
He's seen the car language.
Perhaps Remco's chatting Octane to him in their comms and he's working it out. But no, this is looking very strong now for Envyus. 3-0 up in the match-winning game that will put them in contention for playoffs. So vital now that Team Envyus win this. Nothing too much on the line for Infused other than who they'll see in the later stage of the tournament. I think they'll...
For Sebadam. There we are.
Might change up this game. This could put it in possibility for Infused now. Sebadam.
The Mount misses it as it comes off the wall. Remco's not back because going by Mount's performance in this game and the other two games, he's not been missing a huge amount. We've not seen many whiffs.
Yeah, and it's the domino effect, as Shogun likes to call it, where one mistake leads to another mistake because it just puts everyone out of position.
Yeah.
And can Infuse do what they did against Prophecy in previous weeks, where they got those final moment goals to take the game? That is so vital for them now to get that final burst of energy and really hope for the best.
Oh, what a pass there by Doomsy into the middle. This is Envy's tryout. He's getting those passes in for Remco. Off the crossbar as well. Remco upside down, bit of style on it, give it a flick.
It's one of those situations, you go up for the ball and you realise as you're ascending that you're going to get there late.
Yeah.
Therefore, you actually cause more of an issue by going for the ball than you would have done had you waited and looked to clear it away. But I think that's pretty going to much secure this Envyus win here as they're 4-1 up, not much time left. And it's going to be the new team with Remco subbing in for Devo this week. No Frizz, he is away on holiday. We do get to see Envyus look incredibly strong here. This is a huge moment for them as it puts them in contention.
Their first loss for Infused by the looks of things. 30 seconds left. I don't think they're going to pull this back. Like you said, it's not a nice position to be in. Remco demoing Seb, showing that they are dominant on this pitch. And Mount with an absolutely cracking save off the pinch from Doomsy and Sebadam. But Infused are keeping the pressure on. No, 7 seconds. This will be Infused's first loss of the entire Elite Series, making them 6-1 and bringing Envy 4 wins to 3 losses.
Envyus, the Infused Slayers, the only team at this point to be able to do so. And they will be hoping that that puts them forward in a very strong position. They'll be calling to XL, asking them every question, telling them how to beat Endpoint because they want to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, that has put Envyus in a fantastic position now. with that win, that now means that Endpoint need to win their game. They can't, if they take it to 5 games even, they're still behind. They will be 5th. Endpoint need to win. That's a hell of a position to be in. They're against XL, a lower team in this tournament, but I mean, it's still going to be a bit of a challenge, I feel.
There were 2 major hurdles today for Envyus to overcome. The first one was beating the Undefeated Infused. Check. That has been done.
That's been ticked off. Tick.
Now the second one is out of their hands. They have to watch in awe of XL and hope that they can step up their gameplay to beat the weekly improving Endpoint team.
I mean, we have to see how they're feeling after last week, because obviously they got reverse swept last week. If they can keep the confidence that they had in previous weeks and maybe hopefully push themselves on a bit further, that could help them out. But look at these rooms. We just see so many passing plays, so many goal steals as well, which is always nice.
Yeah, it was Envyus were just dominant that whole performance. There just wasn't any opportunity for Infused to come through and shoot towards net, pass to each other. There was a few moments, but that was after conceding 2 or 3. It was just such a strong performance from Envyus, and they'll be rubbing the shoulders of XL, hoping that they can give them every ability they have proved they have today, as they have had a very unusual Elite Series.
Yeah, very strange. I mean, Envyus, I mean, we've said it a couple of times now, they're just going to be happy. They're going to be so happy they've got that win. Remco proving himself as the core of that team. He allowed Mout and he allowed Waffle to do their thing, as well as them allowing him to do his thing. They all did not get in each other's way. This is a far cry from what we saw last week when they had Devo here. Because we saw Mout and Waffle not play brilliantly, if I'm being honest. So they'll be very, very pleased with that win there. And after that, fantastic little series, although it was a 3-0. I'd love to hear what you, Tom, have to say, mate.
Thank you very much, Stumpy, and fantastic to see you're finally wearing the headset the right way round. But do you know what? It's conventional. You're giving in. You should do it your own style. But anyway, we'll see what happens later on in the day. Listen, when we look at the standings now, that all-important win has happened for Envyus. They leapfrog Endpoint, who are still to play later on today. They'll be taking on the bottom team, Endpoint, taking on XL. But it was a must-win, and we didn't predict it. I should have said my actual prediction that I thought. Which was obviously a 3-0, just like Maltwood said.
You're so good at this.
Thank you very much. Wow. I may have been cheating a little bit, but I did think maybe Envyus could do it because they called on the Rem God, and it paid off, didn't it?
Yeah, they played really well, Envyus. They've done everything that they possibly can do today, of course. It's going to go down to game 4. But they've done all they can do, and they played really well, and they were the better team in every single game against Infused just there.
In every single department? What went wrong for Infused there?
Infused didn't really look urgent today. They never looked like they, wanted to really give it their all. Which, they're all, like Doomsy said, they already had top of the standings secured. So maybe they didn't. Maybe they were just saving themselves for the playoffs. So that doesn't usually happen in Rocket League. Teams have not really got any strategies that they want to hide. But I think Remco and the gang were just a little bit too good for them. The Infused never had a chance.
Yeah, and maybe it could be all to do with who they want to play in the semi-final, isn't it? Infused want to play that, are going to play third-place team, whoever that's going to be today. Maybe they fancy a team. Maybe we'll find out when Ariel talks to them, because I'll be talking to the winning team, as will you gentlemen. So we can welcome the Rem God. His actual name is Remco, so we can welcome down to the panel. Welcome, buddy. Hey. Come and take a seat.
It'd be a really lame high five.
Lame high five. Oh, solid work.
High five. All right.
Yeah.
That one didn't look scripted, that one at the end. That was improv. Remco, congratulations. Your second time in Elite Series. Another win. It was a must-win. Any nerves before the game, or were you slightly confident?
No, not really nervous. I mean, it's Gfinity Elite Series, these players are kind of under my level, so... No.
Wow, that is a strong start.
No, I knew we needed to win. And they were undefeated, so of course, I wasn't sure what was going to happen. Never played with Waffle before. But yeah, they're not great, so. You
seem to lift their game. What about your own personal game today?
Thought it was okay. I mean, I don't think I popped off or anything, but I think I played well, and I think the guys played well too.
There was one goal that actually made the caster Stumpy almost emotional. There was almost tears in his eyes. I think you know the goal we're talking about. The angle in which you took the shot. I mean, how was that even possible? This one here.
I don't know. I think Yeah, I actually didn't think that was going in myself either, and then suddenly it's like top corner, and I was like, I'll take it.
You'll take it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's good enough.
Is there a possibility in Rocket League to say, I don't want that goal to stand? Can I wipe that one?
No.
No. Okay. Fair enough. And obviously, going into watching the next match, which Endpoint taking on Excel, it's out of your control. You've done 50% of the job. And now you have to see Endpoint lose to Excel. Have you had a word with any of the Excel players to do their job today?
No, not really, but I think I know they're playing with a sub, I'm pretty sure. So obviously that's going to be hard. I do think Endpoint has a better chance of winning, but we'll see what happens. We did what we could right now, and we'll just have to wait and see, I guess.
Yeah. We've seen how good Envyus can be by beating the undefeated team Infused. But I mean, why has it not happened throughout the series? I mean, I know Remco's not been here, there are his stats from today, but why is it not gelled? Is it Waffle or Mal or the sub changes in and out?
I think they're going to look back to that Epsilon defeat a few weeks back, where if we looked at what would have happened had Envy beat Epsilon, we would have had Envy already qualified on 12 points today and Epsilon on 9. So that was the one series I expected it to go in Envy's favor, and Epsilon showed up and won 3-1. The only other thing to mention is, Devo came to try and, bring the ship back from sinking, and he wasn't able to. Remco did a little bit of a better job. You're 6-0 as an individual. So are you just better than Devo?
I mean, wasn't it obvious already?
Oh. Devo's not even here to defend himself.
That means he wins.
Cole, on that sort of form, we would have seen Envyus going to win potentially the Elite Series. They're beating the undefeated team.
Mm-hmm. They still might. They still might get through.
Yeah, of course.
They still could get through, and they still could win. Yeah, I mean, we're relying now, all eyes onto the Endpoint against XL game, and XL are going to have to perform today. Do you back them at all, Remco, or are you?
I mean, yeah, of course. I want the guys to make playoffs. Of course, it would be nice to see them back. So yeah, I mean, of course, I hope Excel's going to win. I know it's going to be hard, but like I said, all we have to do is wait and see what happens.
I noticed, sorry, Cole, I noticed that you sit in the middle. When you come and play, and so did Devo, I think, you sit in the middle. Is that like the core organizer? Like in Counter-Strike, we have an Elite Series, the IGL, in-game leader sits in the middle. Is that the same with Rocket League?
Rocket League doesn't really have an in-game leader, I'd say. I just sit in the middle because, I can sit in the middle. I'm like used to it, so I just sit there. It doesn't really have a meaning, to be honest.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Well, listen, I'm going to go up now to Ariel, who is sat with Doomsy. Only got one goal today, so Magnus is still leading that leaderboard. Are you going to ask him about that, Ariel?
I am going to ask him about it, but I'm really excited because I never get to speak to anyone from Infused because they always win, but not today.
Not today. I thought today, I want to go in the seats upstairs, so we'll lose today. That's what.
That's exactly what it was. Now, I'm going to spring on you a theory that I had. The last game that you had that was a little bit difficult was with Prophecy, and that was a game in which Ignite made the colour of his car red and not his usual shocking pink, which I always appreciate. And today he went for the red colour again. Do you think that was what tempted fate?
I've absolutely no idea. I guess it's an interesting theory. I'll give you that one.
I should be an analyst, right?
We won against Prophecy in his red car, so...
That is true. But maybe the pink car would have helped you win against Envyus today.
Maybe.
He kind of left you hanging today as well, because we saw there at the end, you were in the middle in your usual position. You did a fist pump with those Sebadam, but Ignite left you hanging. I
think it was just a bit bad or something. It was fun.
Oh, they've just shown it. Oh!
I look so defeated, don't I? No, I don't know. It was just like...
Is there beef in Infused?
No, it's fine.
You still as one.
He fist bumped me at the end after we lost. So.
Are you sure?
Yeah. We've patched everything up. We're best buddies now. Don't worry about it.
Do you think XL can beat Endpoint now for Envyus to go through? Do you want that to happen?
I definitely don't want that to happen, and it would be quite amazing if that did happen. Okay. To be honest.
How are you feeling going into the playoffs now that you have been defeated?
Oh, we're feeling good. I think sometimes you need a loss to kick you out the backside and be like, keep working hard. Just because you're like top of the table doesn't mean you can slacken anyway. So
I need to get those goals, otherwise Magnus might take your top goal scorer.
I think he's 3 ahead now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be all right.
You got it. You got this. Love it. I love the confidence, Dimsy, even when they lose. Back to you, Tom.
Thank you very much. The words I picked up on that, a kick up the backside will do them good, definitely as they go forward. I have to ask, Remco, with Envyus, if they do manage the unlikely scenario that Excel win today, and will you be coming back into the Elite Series? That's the question on everyone's mind.
I mean, if it's needed, I haven't really talked to anyone about it yet. They just tell me when to come because, you know, someone's not able to show up. I mean, I'm able to play because there was the NBC qualifier, which we ended up not qualifying for, so next week I'm free. So yeah, I mean, if they need me, I'll come. If they want to play with their regular lineup, then go ahead. I mean, it's their tournament pretty much.
See, I told you it was like Ghostbusters. You know, who are you going to call? Call Remco. Exactly.
Don't do it.
Don't. No one liked the joke the first time. No, I'm hearing that in my ear. No one liked it the first time. So they can call upon this player. But what about season 2? What would the lineup be like? Well, now that if you don't make it to the playoffs, then surely the management of Envyus will be like, right, next year, season 2, we are going to get in there and make sure we're a stronger team. Would that happen?
Well, it depends. Or do you mean if my lineup is going, or if we end up with a completely new lineup for Elite Series? It's, I mean, we can't play ourselves usually because it overlaps with other tournaments. Especially this summer where we had X Games and DreamHack and all that stuff. We just miss out on a lot of Sundays. So I spoke to the management once we got picked up by Envyus, saying, I mean, it's likely we're missing out on half the weekends. Just because we're unable to play, so it's probably better to just pick up a completely new lineup as some sort of academy team, and just go with that. I don't know what they want to do for the next season, and I don't know what the format is for the next season, but I'm not sure yet if we're going to be able to play.
Yeah. Would it be amazing if we saw Devo and Remco on the same lineup with the likes of Waffle and Mout swapping in and out? That would be fantastic for the Elite Series, not maybe for every other organisation.
Yeah, not for all the other teams, yeah.
but it would be amazing to see, and it could potentially happen season 2. You know, maybe we should all tweet in and make sure that happens. But it would be good to see, though.
Devo, I'm sure, is going to want to come back and one-up Remco after Remco says he's the better player and the better carry. Maybe Devo's going to come and try and out-carry Remco. I know Devo can do that on his day if he's just so fast. It's hard to take the ball off him, even if he's on your team. So you might have a bone to pick with Remco now.
Now, Cole, as someone who likes to play, you held back Doomsy. I think that's the line that we like to use. You held him back for so many years. Now you've let him loose. The thing is, for someone like Remco to come into this lineup after not playing last week, how difficult is that? He's made it look very easy, but normally, just to put it into context for everybody, how difficult is that?
Well, I think in Rocket League, every player should be able to play every position. It's not like in football where you could come in and you suddenly have to play at left back instead of right mid. You know, in Rocket League, you should be rotating in and out. It's more being able to communicate with your team and just slot in, really. And I think a player of Remco's ability, as he's shown today, should be able to do that fairly simply. That's why this format works so well. We've had lots of different players playing for each different team, and a big part of it is how they can adapt to each other. And it's more than doable. You know, it should be possible for these players to do that.
Well, it did work. I mean, looking at the standings, just before we take a long break before our last match of the day, which is going to be Endpoint taking on Excel. It's been fantastic. You got that win for Method against Epsilon. It is all to play for, really, between Endpoint and Envyus. As you can see, if Endpoint managed to get 3 points, they will leapfrog Team Envyus. But if Excel manage to win and get those 3 points, they will leapfrog and not be finishing bottom. But what will happen is Endpoint will not make it into the playoffs. Well, listen, Remco, so lovely to have you come down and join us on the panel. We hope to see you again soon. If you get that call, are you going to... Did it? No, I was about to do it. I'm not going to do it again. Cole?
I was ready. I was about to...
No, you weren't going to join in with. You let me hang in last time.
No,
Cole, a pleasure. Johnny boy. Listen, so Envyus got the win they needed and now must wait and see what happens when Endpoint meet Excel in our final match of the day. Which Endpoint, though, will turn up? As the most unpredictable team in the Elite Series, it's impossible to tell. One thing is certain, though, we'll be back at 5 p.m. to find out. And you should be too. See you soon.
Endpoint. And where do Endpoint go from here?
Endpoint's destiny is still in their own hands.